going to get started. So we're going to come down onto the mat. If you've got a yoga block handy, that would be great. If not, don't worry too much. You grab a cushion, that would be all right. We're just going to go through a nice gentle-ish, there might be the odd plank, gentle-ish yoga flow. Okay, Hatha Yoga Flow, let's say. So feel free to just pop block underneath the hips there, and just let the shoulders draw back and down as you lift nice and tall through the spine. When you lift up through the spine, just think about that crown of the head being gently drawn up, nothing too strong. We don't want the back to arch too much, just want to stay nice and soft here. So those floating ribs just drawing in towards the spine. And then let's just bring our awareness down to the pelvis and just see if you tend to lean to one side or maybe you tend to lean forwards, etc. And just see if you can bring the weight nice and central through the pelvis. That's going to give you the least amount of stress in the lumbar spine, okay? And then we'll just let the hands relax down from there. I just invite you to take a mudra. These are all invites, just there if you want them. I'm going to take chin mudra, thumb first fingertip comes together. Let's take a nice deep breath in, just breathing in through the nose. And let's just take a deep sigh out, just to really bring us into our body. And again, slow, deep inhale, and a slow, deep exhale. And again, breathing in, breathing out. Good. And then just bringing our awareness to the next half an hour or so. We'll do a little bit of relaxation at the end. Just parking everything else for now. Let's just park it. We'll come back to it later. Okay, so let's now take an inhale. We're just floating the arms up and over, interlacing the fingers as you press the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. Good. Keep that tailbone drawing down, so neutral through the spine. And just enjoy that feeling of space through the rib cage, through the lower back. Softening the shoulders down away from the ears a little. You might find bending the elbows helps a little bit with that. If you're a little tight in the neck, that's probably going to really help you. Okay, like who isn't? All right, reaching over to one side, now just coming into a sideways bend. Let's give the lower back a bit of support. So just bringing one hand down as you reach over, and then just back to centre. Nice deep breath in, reaching up, and exhale over. I'm turning the palm up to get a little more stretch through the underarm. We don't often think about that area, but it really affects the back, chest, breathing, etc. Reaching up and over again. Let's do it one more time either side. Fantastic. And then again, reaching up and again slowly over. Lovely. And then again, just coming back to the top. Taking a twist, so just reaching across opposite hands. And if that's not available, same side, no worries. So just getting that nice opening across the chest, lifting the chin away from the chest a little, because I guarantee it's dropped down already. Take that stress out of the neck. Okay, coming back to centre. Nice big open twist, or a little stronger reaching across if that's available to you. Good, keep coming back to that breath. Awesome. Okay, if you've got the legs crossed, we're going to bring the other one in front now. And again, reaching up, again, opening through the underarms as you press into the palms of the hands. Again, just lifting up out of the waist. Enjoy that space through the rib cage, opening the lungs, diaphragm moving, and then popping the hands back down from there. Okay, let's come over onto hands and knees now, just into box position. All right, so let's just come into cat stretch. So hands just directly under the shoulders, spread out the fingers and thumbs, and the knees apart, of course, and we're just rounding on up through the spine. So head relaxes down, just drawing the chin towards the chest. And then releasing down from there. Let the lower back drop just a little as you lift the chin. Anyone dealing with lower back injuries, just keep it more neutral. So take that extension out. And then again, rolling back up through the spine, injuries or conditions. And then again, slowly back down. Okay, coming back to centre now. I'm going to wake up the core. So we're tucking the toes under. I'm going to fold my hands up. I taught 4 classes yesterday. My wrists are a little sore. So I'm just going to fold my hands. So that's a nice option if you've got things going on with your wrists. And then with the spine neutral, so in other words, not rounding through the back, not dipping, so somewhere in between, that sweet spot, we're just going to bring those knees off the floor. So just hovering here. So that's going to really load up the arms, of course. You're going to feel those thighs wake up. Now I invite you just to press that tailbone in a little bit. So that'll give you a little reverse pelvic tilt. That's going to switch on the pelvic floor. And then bringing the knees down from there. Let's take a twist, just taking one arm up towards the ceiling now, opening across the chest as you reach up, and then popping the hand back down. Other side from there, reaching out, nice big opener across the chest. Twists are lovely to wake up the nervous system. You get a little squeeze on your adrenal glands. And then one more from there. Okay, we're coming back to that knee hover. Again, just pop the hand back down, tuck in toes under, bringing again the knees up away from the floor. Again, let's just press that tailbone in, so you're rounding through the back a little bit now, like you would do in cat stretch. That's going to really switch on the lower abdominal wall. Great little move to do, again, if you're working with lower back stuff. And then releasing down from there. Okay, coming back to that open twist, this time let's take the leg out as well. So I've got my left leg out, and I'm just reaching on up with the left arm. Okay, now let's drop the hips back ever so slightly just to get a little stretch through the inner thigh too. Again, just stacking shoulders, lifting the gaze. Keep breathing and releasing down from there into a balance now. The leg that's stretched out, I'm going to take it behind, pushing into the heel. I'm going to bring my hands flat now just so those shoulders are a little bit more level with the pelvis. Back of the neck nice and long. I think I have my foot in the plant, don't I? I don't know if you can see the plant. Reaching away with that right arm. It's very hazardous being a yoga teacher sometimes. We have to have plants. It's the rule. Okay, bringing the hand and knee back down. Okay, from here we're taking the other leg out to the side now. So it'll be my right leg out to the side. And then reaching up from there with the right arm. So again, just enjoying that feeling of openness across the chest. Drop the hips back a little just to work up into that inner thigh touch, those adductors. Okay, and then releasing down from there, let's again just draw the leg back in. Okay, so now just reaching away with the right leg, spine nice and long. So you'll kind of want to look forwards, that's what your body will try and do, but keep the crown of the head forwards. Let's float away now with that opposite arm. Again, just pausing here and then releasing down. Let's drop it down into child's pose now, balasana. So just taking the knees apart, dropping the hips back as you stretch the arms forwards from there. Just pressing the hands down. You might like to bring the head all the way down. For some people that can feel a little too cramped, in which case you can just bring that drishti, that gaze point towards the top of the mat. I tend to prefer that. And then just pressing hands down into the mat. So you've got a little bit of traction. So it's like you're trying to pull the hand back towards you, but it's gripping onto that mat. So you're switching on those muscles again around the shoulder joints. Bringing it back now into downward facing dog, or you can stay here a little while longer if you prefer. So with the toes tucking under, exhale, lifting up if you're coming into that downward dog. If you're here with me, let's just bend one knee and then the other. So just shifting the weight from one side and back again. Give the head a little bit of a shake. Okay, and then just bring your knees again down to the floor. Moving now into a lunge position, we're bringing the right leg forwards. You can always pick the foot up and move it forwards if the hip's not so mobile today, no worries. Okay, we've got the hands either side of the foot. Now if that's really tricky to reach, you can either put blocks under the hands or just come on the inside of the leg. I find that a little bit easier. We're picking up that back knee now, tucking the toes under, knee comes off the floor. If you get there and it's not feeling great, just bring the knee back down. Coming into one more twist, we're reaching up from there with the right arm. So this is going to rotate through the lower back a little bit more now if you've got that back knee off the floor. Good, great, one more breath. So just really trying to create some space through the torso. Popping the right hand down, we're moving back into high plank now. So just taking a step back from there. Now if, again, when you get there, that's not for you today, we drop the knees down, okay? So in a 3/4 plank, that still does the job. If you're in full plank, work on pressing those heels away. That's going to tighten the muscles around the knee joints to give you a bit more support for those knees. Great to do if you're hypermobile. Okay, let's now bring the knees to the floor. I was going to take cobra from here. I've got 2 mics on. Hang on. That's not going to work. Okay, so from here, elbows point back. We're bringing the chest down in between the hands. And we'll just take low cobra. So the feet are apart a little. Hands either side of the chest. Press the elbows in like they're glued to your ribs. And then we're lifting up from there. Now actively press the pelvis down into the floor. So you get that lovely opening across the front of the pelvis. That also helps to switch on the glutes and protect your back. Releasing down from there. Let's bring it back into child's pose. So exhale, coming back now, just reaching out with the arms, pressing again, hands down into the floor. Again, getting that nice bit of traction. It's a nice stretch on the nerves that go through the wrist as well when you do it like that. Okay, and then coming back up from there, slowly lift. So we're lunging forwards now. We've got the left leg coming forwards. Again, see what works for you. You could have hands either side of that left foot, framing the foot, or come on the inside, or use blocks. From here, option to just tuck the right toes under and lift the right knee from the floor. And then we're floating up with the left arm. Okay, again, see how that feels. If it's too much, we just bring the right knee again down onto the mat. Oh, and again, just try and enjoy that feeling of space through the rib cage. All right, one more breath. We're again meeting in high plank, just popping the hand back down, stepping back from there. Again, check in, see how that feels. You can bring knees down to the floor if you prefer. Okay, one more breath. And then let's all bring the knees down. We're coming down again onto our front. So exhale again to lower. Stretching away with the feet. This time let's bring the feet a little closer together. Good idea to keep a little bit of space between the feet though, just so you don't squeeze too much on that sciatic nerve. Elbows again pressing in, hands either side of the chest. Let's this time lift the chest, lift the head, and then maybe just hover the hands off the floor as well. So that's going to really wake up those lovely big lat muscles. Okay, a little stronger from there, only if you want it. We hover the legs off the floor. Okay, and then again releasing down. We're coming into downward facing dog via high plank. You can always go via the knees, so that's hands either side of the chest. Nice deep breath in, zip up that core, back of the neck nice and long. Exhale, pushing up and back. Good, so just breathing here. Again, if it gets a little too much, we come down into child's pose. Okay, let's now walk the hands back towards the feet. We'll come into a forward fold at the back of our mats. Gently folding over the legs as you let the head relax down. Gently lift the shoulders away from the ears. So you're just activating those upper back muscles. And then with the knees a little bent, we'll just roll through the spine. So just let the arms hang like a rag doll, curling up from there. Shoulders just releasing back and down. Okay, let's come into a little standing sequence now. There'll be no sun salutes in this. So just going to work on that lovely leg strength, drawing the energy up from the earth. We'll come into triangle pose first. So just leading on that right leg, lifting the left heel, turning that away. As soon as you externally rotate the leg, so that'll be your right leg, the hip will want to drop down, which does give you more stretch when you come down, but puts a lot more pressure up into the hip socket, which long term isn't ideal. So let's get the hips nice and level. Floating the arms out, nice deep breath in, and returning the arms. So let's just bring that right hand down, left arm up. So above or below the knee, not on the knee. That's it. If you've got the mobility to come down a little bit lower, please be my guest. Okay, now let's either lift the gaze up, and again just check in, see how that feels on your neck. If it's not great, look forward. If your neck's particularly stiff today, just drop the gaze down, because then the weight of the head will give you a lovely stretch into the side of your neck. Now let's really ground down into that back foot so you feel really plugged in. And then let's see if we can just move that left hip back ever so slightly along with the left shoulder. Good, so you're again really opening up through the side rib cage. Okay, activate your core muscles now. Draw up a little on Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, and lift from there. We're just reversing the arms, so just nice and simple. Lifting up and over now with the right arm, just coming into a little bit of a sideways bend. That's it. All right, we're going to come back down triangle. You might find this time you can just take it a little bit lower, but no worries if not. And then let's see if that bringing that arm over feels good. So this is extended triangle now. Okay, again, if that feels a little too intense, we can take the arm up, or maybe this time just pop the left arm behind the lower back. And just breathe. Just enjoy being here. That's my invite to you. Okay, let's take an inhale now. We're coming up. You can take a wide leg forward fold. So from here, just turning the toes in a little. It's a bit pigeon toe. If you're prone to sciatica, don't turn toes in. Have the feet parallel. Okay, bending the knees a little on the way down. We're just bringing hands down to the floor and then drawing the pelvis up. Feel free to keep the knees a little bent if that works better for you. And then just let the head relax down. So long through the spine. This is just delicious. Pressing down through the outside edges of the feet as you lift through the arches of the feet. So you get that real nice stretch through the outer ankles while activating the arches. Okay, either staying here now, if you'd like to work a bit more strongly, you can reach around the back of the lower calf muscles, or maybe tucking the fingertips underneath the outside edges of the feet and pulling down from there. So the arms are just a little bit active. I can see wood lice. I'm going to have to rescue that after class. Okay. Don't know how that got in here. Take a breath in, flatten out through the back, and then pop the hands onto the mat from there. So they're just kind of directly under the shoulders now. All right. So think again about space through the pelvis, through the spine, all the way into the crown of the head. So the spine is just pretty much level to the floor. Okay. Legs strong now, so grip with the thighs, hands onto hips. Come on up from there, breathing in. Whew. Okay, jump or step feet together. And then we'll come into crescent moon pose. So arms up and over. We're interlacing the fingers, stretch up with the first finger, and then we cross the thumb. So that's Kali Mudra. If that, when you reach up, pinches your shoulders a bit, instead just hook the thumbs, bend the elbows. And you might like to also, just to balance that out, take the feet apart a little. Okay, we're reaching up and over now to the right side. So nice and long through that spine as you press the hips over to the left side. So it's a great one to increase the mobility in your spine whilst working the core. Let's come back up. Inhale. Up and over now to the other side. Exhale to reach. Good. So really trying to get that flexion, that side bend from the middle back, as opposed to really pressing into that lower back, coming into a deep bend there. I want to avoid that in general. Okay, let's inhale, come up. We're coming into triangle pose now on the left side. So just turn again, right heel away, turning the left toes out. Again, just watch for that drop in the hip. I invite you just to draw that left hip back up. And then turning the arms. Trikonasana. Great. So again, just reaching up from there. Good. See where your neck wants to turn. So again, if you look up and it's feeling a little tight in the neck, just bring the gaze forwards, or you might like to bring the gaze down. The latter can also be a nice option if you're prone to low blood pressure, by the way. Okay, which makes you dizzy. So pressing down real firmly into that back foot now, so you're really plugging in. And then let's see again if we can just draw that right hip, right shoulder back a little. So getting that nice rotation. Switching on those side abdominal muscles too. Big supporters of the lower back. All right, take your time now as you come up, lifting Mula Bandha. Inhale, lift. Reaching up and over now with the left arm. Inhale. And then exhale as you come into that side bend. That's it. Great, okay. Let's bring it back down now. So just nice and slowly coming into Utthita Trikonasana, so extended triangle. Top arm reaches over. If that's not for you, again bring the arm back up, or again maybe just pop it behind the lower back instead. Great. Okay, one more breath. Strong through the legs now as you again inhale to left. Let's again bring hands onto the waist. Coming forwards into wide leg forward fold one more time, this time adding a twist. So exhaling, planting right hand down onto the floor, starting to rotate from there as you draw the left shoulder up. Good, keep that neck nice and long, so the crown of your head is being gently drawn forwards. Okay, either staying here or reach up from there with the left arm, feeling that rotation through the mid-back. Drop the left hip a little, lift the right. Okay, releasing down, other side. So let's start again with that same awareness, just bringing left hand onto lower back. Right hand, sorry. I'm normally mirroring when I teach. Not today. Okay, so again, just gently rotating from there. Again, see how that feels, and then you may like to reach up with the right arm. Now drop that right hip a little so we're not twisting up on the sacroiliac joints. We want it all to come from that middle back. Okay. And then again, just releasing down. Going to heel toe the feet in a little now. Let's bare the knees, hands onto thighs as you roll up through the spine. Just take your time, make sure you breathe on the way up. Chair pose, Utkatasana, bringing the feet together or slightly apart if that works better for you. And then just pressing the hips back as you float the arms up. So just dropping those hips down, reaching forwards. Now see again how that feels in your back, so remain inquisitive. And if you feel pressure in the back, bring the arms down a little bit. If you want to go strong and you're feeling good, arms come high. Good, okay, 2 more breaths there. Always get out of breath on this one. And then just coming back to mountain pose. Tree pose now for Vrikshasana. We're bringing the right foot up. You can always use the wall for balance if you need, if you're balancing very challenging. So right foot coming up. So as I'm sure you know, go to the inner thigh, lower leg, or you can just have toes on the floor. That works. Bringing the hands now to the heart. Going to roll the shoulders back and down. And then just find your gaze point. So if you feel like you need to calm a little, just bring the gaze down, Or, a bit more energy, you could take the arms up and over. Again, it's your practice, so completely up to you. And then again, working on that expansion through the rib cage, so getting that lovely movement in the diaphragm muscles. Alright, let's release all the way down. Returning now to chair pose, slightly different variation. I'm going to hook the fingers like so. I'm going to pull out to either side. Create a little tension across the chest. So bending the knees, come on down. And now start to pull the hands away from one another. It's great to work the shoulder girdle. And then from there is another little variation. Great one to do if you have knee injuries. Lift the heels off the floor. So really strengthen those knee joints, ankles working too, keep pulling with the arms. 3, 2, 1. Let's come back again to Tadasana. Nice. Okay, tree pose other side. We've got the left foot coming up now. That's it. So again, just place it where it works for you. You can always use the wall for balance. I have days where I much prefer using the wall. And then again, just bringing hands together, maybe just dropping the gaze down. Or you can reach the arms up, lift the gaze. You feel like you need a bit more stimulus. Good. Okay, one more breath. And coming back again into mountain. Okay, last chair pose, I promise. So again, hook the fingers, go the other way around this time. So you'll have gone your dominant side probably, first time. So flip it round, so now it's going to feel a little awkward. Not quite right, and then you know you're on the right side. So again, coming down, pull with the hands. Now actively draw those shoulder blades down away from the ears as well, working those trapezius muscles. Option to bring the heels away from the floor. Now really press those knees together. That's it. Good. One more breath and release. Come on up. Relax the arms down. Good job. Okay, we'll take a couple of warrior postures now and then we'll bring it down to the floor and have a stretch out. So again, just taking the legs wide, going slightly wider than we had for triangle pose because we're coming into warrior 2. And when we bend into that right leg, we want the knee to line up over the ankle, not overshoot. So just turning that right foot out, left heel turns away. We're going to level off those hips. Breath in. Exhale to come down. Good. So think about broadening across the chest. We're bringing our gaze down towards the right hand. And hanging out here, really. Now press down real firmly into that back foot as you stretch back with that left arm. Okay, let's move. Inhale, straighten through the right leg. We come on up. Exhale, pull down cactus arms. And then again, we inhale, left. We're going to exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down, side angle pose. Forearm comes to thigh. We're reaching over on a long diagonal line. With that left arm now. Move the left hip back ever so slightly. That's it. One more breath. Good job. And slowly up from there. We're dropping it straight down onto left side. Pivot on the feet. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Pressing down again into the back foot. Awesome. Bringing our drishti, our gaze down towards the left hand. Stay strong through that back arm, back leg. Let's move, straightening into the left leg now as you come up, breathing in, exhale, coming down cactus arms, inhale, lift. Imagine those shoulder blades are being gently pulled down your back, inhale, lift. Exhale again, we come down, turning the arms, we reach over, Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. So again, nice long line from fingertips through to the edge of the foot. Move the right hip back slightly now. Let's stretch in the psoas. Okay, one more breath. And then taking your time to come again all the way up. Bringing hands onto the hips, turn the toes so they're pointing forwards. Jump or step the feet together. And take a breath to Tadasana. Let's come now towards the back of our mats. We're going to meet in downward dog again, or you can take child's pose if that works better for you today. Chin to chest as we roll down. Come on down. Walking the hands forwards. Option again for that amusing downward dog. Or again, just coming into child's pose. All right, let's bring now the knees down to the floor. And let's all come into child's pose. This time, maybe have a go with the thighs together. It's quite nice on the lower back. Stretching the arms forwards. If you find when you get there, it feels like you can't breathe that great, take the knees apart, of course. Doesn't work for everyone. And then we're inhaling to come up. Okay, so we're moving now into camel pose. I'm not going to go into the full one because I think it's super hardcore on the lower back. So we're just going to do the first stage, but I'm just going to show you real quick. So we're coming up from there, grab your block or brick, that's going between the legs. That's so we can really switch the legs on and the glutes on so they act as brakes, stopping us going too far. So we're just going to press in from there, hands onto the lower back. We're going to press the hips forward, lift the heart and lift the gaze. Okay, so let's go. So really pressing into the block. Press the hips forward so you feel the glutes switched on. And then lifting the breastbone. So imagine that breastbone is being drawn up towards the sky. Elbows drawing in. Head relaxes back. Pausing here. Now push the hips forwards. Take your time to come up. Pop the block to one side. And have a seat from there in Virasana. Okay. Coming now into pigeon pose. So let's just wiggle over to the left side of the mat. We're dropping the hips to the right. Right leg comes forwards and left leg is behind. Now again, if you want to take it more gently, you could just come on forwards, resting down from there, or going into a full pigeon pose by really stretching back into that left leg And then bringing the body weight more to the centre. Now if you like that full stretch, but if it was a little intense on the right knee, you could take block and just place that underneath the hip. Let's flex into that right foot now so the toes point forwards. That's going to give you a little extra stretch across the centre of the glute. So under the glute max you've got piriformis, which when it gets tight can irritate the sciatic nerve. So that little flexion here can help prevent sciatica. Okay, let's just take a couple more breaths here. Again, just enjoying that stretch. Okay, walking now the hands back towards you, coming up. Going to take the block out if you're using one, drop onto right hip. Left leg's going to come up and around. See if you can bring the leg forwards without using your hands. And we're ready for a seated twist. So we've got left leg up and over the right. If when you get there, that left hip is off the floor, again, take your block, place it under the hips. We're bringing now, on an exhale, the right arm to the left leg and just popping the left hand to the floor behind. See if you can get a little more height through the spine now. Chin is just level to the mat. Slowly twisting from there, just taking your time. Okay, one more breath. And then slowly coming back round to centre. Okay, Paschimottanasana, let's just straighten the legs out just to give those knees a bit of a rest. Hands resting to the floor. Inhale. Exhale to fold down, just letting the chin draw in towards the chest, back of the neck nice and long. Just breathe. And then taking your time to come back up from there. Okay, so now let's just drop the left knee out to the side. Right leg comes back, folding forward, see how that feels. And then maybe from there taking it a little further as you reach back with the right leg. You can always again take the pressure off the knee by taking a block underneath the left hip. And then we're just folding forwards and down. Slow, deep inhale and exhale. Let's really flex again into that left foot, pushing into the heel, toes pointing forwards. Great, 2 more breaths. Start winding down now. So let's again just walk hands all the way back. Bringing that right leg all the way around. Good. Coming into our seated twist, we've got right arm behind, left arm comes over, breath in, lift tall, exhale to turn. So not really using force against that leg, the arms just resting and pressing just lightly, just to encourage that rotation through the spine. The spine will twist if it wants to. Okay, a couple more deep breaths here. And then just taking your time as you release, so breathing in as you come back. Coming down onto our backs now, shoulder bridge, let's curl down through the spine with the feet just flat to the ground now, arms are just down by your sides. Pressing down firmly into the feet as you lift the hips up. So just taking your time now as you come up, press the knees together a little as you press the hands down. Let the chin move towards the chest, head staying on the floor. Head staying on the floor, but we're just pressing the knees in and the back of the neck is elongated. Good. Now see if you can take the hips a tiny bit higher so you really feel now those glutes switched on, and that might give you enough space to interlace the fingers. It might not, in which case just keep pressing the hands down into the mat. Okay, we're taking one more breath. We're going to roll back down from there. Happy baby, just hugging the legs in, stretching across the lower back, and then reaching around the insides of the feet as you press the heels up. Great, just stretching through the underside of the pelvis. If that's not really available to you, it took me ages to be able to do that, you could just hug the legs in. Okay, let's rest now that left leg down onto the mat. Hands around the right shin, and we're drawing the right leg in towards us. Little compression in the hip. And then let's just move the right leg out to the side slightly and press that lower back into the floor. This is a great one for releasing the lower back, helps to stimulate the digestive system as well. All right, and switch. So gently again pulling the leg in, and then move it out to the side ever so slightly, just so we don't overdo it on that compression on the nerves in your hip joints. One more breath and release down. Full body stretch now, so just reaching the arms back, pointing the toes away, and then coming into Shavasana. Okay, I'm going to come up to sitting so I can speak to you a bit more easily. So we'll just take a few minutes, just 3 or so minutes. So just find a comfortable position. If you're not comfortable on your back, you come onto your side. You could try bolster under the legs. If you're remaining on your back, for example, cushion under the head, just get comfy. Okay. And then from here, I invite you to close the eyes, or at least just soften the gaze. And then let's return to our focus on the breath. So just taking a slow, deep inhale through the nose. Slow, deep exhale. Maybe out through the mouth, so big sigh. And then again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Staying aware of your breath now as you relax the face, just allowing the jaw to soften. By doing that can really help to release the lower back and pelvic area. Shoulders just melting down into the floor. Feel the spine release down into the mat too. Arms and legs just resting heavy on the ground. We're anchored by the pelvis. Plugging in. Now as you breathe in, enjoy again that expansion into the chest, rib cage, abdominal area. And then as you exhale, just see if you can make that exhale a tiny bit longer. So breath out, tiny bit longer. And then again, inhale. Exhale again, tiny bit longer than that inhale. Just to rejuvenate the nervous system again. Deep breath in and out. And then just taking several more breaths in that way. And then just letting go of that practice when you feel ready. A nice way to think of the breath and body is like they're old friends, as one of my teachers says. Like they're old friends, and breath just lets itself in as it pleases. And then goes again. No formality. So let's just take another 5 or so breaths here now. Okay, so if you've got the opportunity to stay here a little while longer, that's awesome. If not, if you need to come up now, I'm just going to get a little movement into the fingers and toes. So just stretching into the extremities, a little bit of movement into the arms and the legs now as well. Any way you fancy, maybe taking a big yawn. Okay, and then just to stretch into the arms and legs as well. Bending the legs now, let's just plant the feet flat to the floor. And then just rolling over onto your side, just resting there for a moment, keeping the eyes closed for as long as you can. And then let's just take our time as we come up to sitting now. So just slowly up from there. With the eyes closed, I invite you just to rub the hands together until they feel nice and warm. Let the head bow down. And then just let the hands rest Rest, rest, rest onto the face. And then slowly opening the eyes as you bring the hands down from there.